That's very important, guys. I hope everyone can see my screen. So this is implementation uh, pre-work to your compensation, I would say. What we do here in pre-work as part of compensation is, guys, please put yourself on mute. Sorry. So as part of pre-work in compensation, since compensation is closely related to your goal management, there are certain things that we are supposed to do. So there are like, for example, you need to set up a you need to set up a performance management template, a goal template, and all these details in the system so that the compensation management module will work fine. So to start with, guys, Babu and Rudra, sorry to say that. Mindlinks asked me not allow you guys to join. Uh, just go and talk with your administrator and make sure you're set with your uh, whatever logistics stuff. Okay, please go and talk and confirm your stuff because today I don't want you guys to miss the class. Otherwise tomorrow I don't have an option but to stop. Okay, sorry to say this, but as I said, please go and talk. Before tomorrow, Babu and Rudra. That's what they asked me to tell you. I mean, they asked me to not allow you, but I'm allowing you because I don't want someone to miss a class. So please go and talk.
Sure.
Okay, so if you look at this here, to start with, we need to start with activating your compensation module, right? That we already did. So it's already there in the system. So these are the compensation specific checklists that you need to activate within your provisioning to make sure that your system works with compensation. Okay, then obviously goal management, recruiting, all these things are active within the system. We can create an administrator, and then we have something called as goal plan setup. The goal plan setup is so the goal plan setup that you see here is already in place in our system, but I'll show you quickly how you upload it and also how your goal plan will look like. Okay, to start with, the first one is your goal plan template. I'll open it in our XML pad. So let me open, guys, just give me a second. Okay, so here within your non-EC system, so what you need to do is you need to go to your okay, so here this is your objectives or goals, the goal plan templates that you would be creating. So if you look at it, so we've got different templates that are created. So this is one of the templates that you see. Okay, so if you look at this one, the employees have so these are the objective plan templates. So if you just to show you how this plan template might look like, this is something that's coming from your so if you look at this one, how is it coming, guys? Okay, I hope you guys can see it now. So if you look at this one, so this is a goal plan template that we have. So what we have here is the template for your goal settings. So you have different languages and you've got different fields. So this is something that we don't do. That's something that will be done by your performance management consultants. Okay, so that's a responsibility. So that's the responsibility of a PMGM guy. Okay, so what they end up doing is they set up this goal plan as well as a performance review plan within the system from where the compensation guy will start working. So now if you go here, if you look at this, so here you've got the goal plan, so which I'll provide you with standard set of goal plans that are available with me. So I will share that, and you need to just review how it looks. So it's just to understand. We don't do it in real time. Guys, my voice is clear, or is it breaking for everyone?
Your voice
Is
is
my
clear.
voice clear?
Yeah,
Yes,
Praveen,
yes,
clear.
your voice is clear.
Okay,
Clear.
so Vandana, looks like there is a problem from your side. Please check that. Okay, so this is admin privileges, so that's already there in place, so you need to set up the admin privileges, and this is legacy. As I said, this is not new set of permissions that you'll be defining in the system. So you just need to go, this is a old or obsolete way of maintaining privileges. So let's say I just give admin user and I can just select the permissions that I would like to give here. So you'll see all the permissions that I need to define as a security measure. Okay, so this is something that's obsolete. As I said, this is not the latest way of handling security, but in the old method of SuccessFactors, so this is where we come and maintain our security. Okay, so each of these values, if you check it, your employee gets a permission. So for example, when you come to compensation administration, so you see you give permission to all the compensation related setup within the system. So this is something that you need to make sure you provide your administrator. Okay, and also this is a old way of handling compensation authorizations. So just to show you, as I said, I still put this active. And then we've got an employee import file. Okay, so the employee import file is nothing but the user data file. So this is for the first time. So you need to make sure you set up your user data file, and our system already has a, so you don't need to worry about the user data file. Okay, so this is not the first time. So this is once you get a clean empty system. So these are certain things that needs to be there for your compensation to get started. Okay, so since we already have the employees in the system, we don't do it again. Okay, then just a sec. So we also have to give the reporting privilege in the same screen where I gave the admin privileges. So you can just give the reporting permissions for all the employees. I mean all your administrators. And this is email notifications. I hope you guys remember what we discussed in email notifications. So these email notifications are usually for any of the forms that we generate, the compensation template. Once we create, it generates an email. Okay, so it generates an email, and they ask you not to check here. This is because we are uploading all the employees with one email address, so that's why you might get thousands of emails every minute or every day. So they want to avoid it, but in real time it's it's actually needed to activate your email notifications, because whenever there is a form that is generated, you need to have it. Okay, is that clear, this part? Why we are not activating emails here is what he's asking. So he's asking not to activate rather than activate. Don't think this is real time. Okay, so this is just for your training. They're asking not to activate so that you guys can will be free of at least spamming your inbox with a lot of junk emails that's coming from SuccessFactors. So that's why they ask you not to see. They say uncheck all of the email notification templates except for the password change and the password support notifications. The reason for that is, as I said, they don't want to spam your inbox. New badges confused about email notifications. What does that mean? Sorry. So who is confused about email notification?
Praveen,
Uh-huh.
the, the the batch who had just joined, right?
Uh-huh.
They said like no, they're confused about it.
So no one asked me when I asked if there are any
You know,
questions around it.
some other person who's next to me, he just questioned me that.
Okay.
That's right.
So guys, I hope you guys remember what email notifications are. As I said, this is used only in talent, and in talent when there is someone who is uh, what we call, when there is a form that gets triggered, or when there is an due date approaching for your form. So those are email notifications. And during those times, system will generate an email and send it to you. So that's what we call email notifications. And here we're unchecking all the or deactivating all the email notifications because where was that? So yeah, so unchecking all the email notifications because mm, we don't want to spam the inboxes. Otherwise, you are free to put whatever email notifications that you need in a real-time scenario. Okay. Coming to goal management. So you have to import individual goals. Again, this is some activity which is usually maintained by employees as part of the regular maintenance process. Okay. So as part of the regular maintenance process, they have to maintain the goals. So let me show the goals. Okay, so this is the goals that you need to import. So this is a document that, as I said, document for us. Start with compensation without doing all by ourselves. So this is at a user level, an employee level. We import the goals for each of the employees in the system. For example, if you see how much percentage of achievements that they have, so here are the achievements. So employees will import their goals into the system by going to admin tools, by going to goal management, and what we do is we import goals. Okay, you just choose the file and import the goals. We already have the goals imported, the same file. So this is the file that you're going to import in the system. I'll show you where these things will come and impact. So this will be available at an employee level. Okay, this will be available level. So let me quickly show you. Right, so if you go to an employee and check for his goals, you will see these goals maintained there. So for example, this is for Marla Gibbs. She's Marla Gibbs, okay? So for Marla Gibbs, so one of the goals is to improve customer service in Region 1, Legacy A's retail branches, draw success of Legacy Z community bank in implementing some. This is a goal, okay? So this has a weightage of 25% and it's in good state. It's on due on so and so date and it's completed with 100% progress. So if you go to Marla Gibbs and see if this goal is existing, it should be there. So if I go to the goals of employee, so these are certain things that needs. So if you look at it, so this is one of the goals, right? So this is customer specific goals, improve customer service in region 1, legacy A's retail branches. So whatever you see, it's on track, the weightage is 25%, it's 100% complete. So rather than maintaining here manually for all the people, usually this is done by employees themselves. But since we want to run compensations right away, so we are kind of importing everything. So if you look at it, this customer, so you see a customer goal, which is this one. Then you've got business process. So you see this is a take advantage of the acquisition of that community. And then you got learning and growth. You see a different goal, right? So ensure that each individual. So this is there. And then financial, you've got improve the accuracy, right? So this is again available here. So this is how you see them in the system. So you've got different set of goals and different types of weightages. Okay, so this is something that we have from our system. Okay, so if you look at this one, back to what we did. I hope this is clear, guys, what we are doing.
So
Anyone, any
Praveen,
questions?
yeah, so Praveen, to run the compensation, we have to, I mean, system should compulsorily have the goals already set for each employee.
It's ideal to have performance management in the system to run compensation. You know, these two go hand in hand. Once you complete your performance, then you go to compensation, ideally. So that's why, as a best practice, we are setting up our performance so that we can start working on it.
Hmm. So for the first time, you said that we need to import all the goals for all the employees. So you mean to say that import from the legacy system the goals?
See, no, don't take it in real time. As I said, this is an activity which will be done by your employees. So they set the goals and you define the weightages as a manager in your performance process. Since I'm not handling performance at this point, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to upload all of them so that performance module is ready without reconfiguring it.
Okay.
Understand? Otherwise this is in process, right? So you need to set your goals, your manager has to accept it, and then you define how much you completed, and then your manager says, okay, this is the actual percentage of completion. Each goal you set it weightage. So those are certain things that happens in your performance process.
Yeah, true. Right.
Right, so this is something we are doing to avoid doing the whole performance process here. Just to quickly ramp up this performance setup and kind of start working on a compensation quickly. But I'm just showing you what could be important for you to work on compensation. So your performance guys should take care of this. Let's say if there is no performance requirement, okay, there is no performance in your system. Can you run compensation? If there is no performance, can you run compensation?
As compensation is dependent on performance, so I feel no.
Actually, you can. The point is, you need to import your ratings. Without performance, if you just want to run compensation, you can actually do that. For that, you need to, what you have to do is, rather than integrating performance and compensation together, you run it standalone, and you kind of bring the rating values through the import file, which is not so good practice, I would say. This is not so good idea or strategy.
What does it mean? Like a standalone means like the FTP server, what we have usually. That one you're talking.
No, I'm not talking anything about servers, guys. I'm just talking about, can you run compensation without implementing performance management in SuccessFactors?
Praveen, good
Yes, we
morning.
can.
Kanchan here. Praveen.
Kanchan, good morning.
Good morning, Praveen. Actually, I had no information actually that that we had any class today, because I was trying to reach. I sent email, but I have not received anything. I just trying
I'm
to check.
sure you're copied in an email that Vamshi sent, and I responded back that we were class at 7.
No, I have not received.
I'm sure because I saw your email there.
I don't know. I checked my email, but I have not.
So how many people were copied in that message that I responded back today in the morning at 6? Kanchan, I'm sure you're there because I saw your name.
I checked my email to be okay. Maybe I don't know. I maybe gone to junk email in that case, but otherwise I checked my email. I have not received in case it gone. But how far you started at 7 o'clock? So you covered the practical part, or you still going through the
No, I'm just going through what are our prerequisites or pre-work that we need to do as part of our compensation. So I don't think we covered much. So what I'm
Okay.
trying, or what we have done so far is we just activated compensation. Let's say we kind of have an admin user with all the privileges, and then we started to import all the goals and everything in the system.
Okay. Okay, probably you carry on then. If you can give a high-level brief quickly for 1 minute.
Right. So then you got the job families, roles, competency mapping import. Again, guys, this is something that comes from your compensation, that comes from your performance management. Okay, so this is where you actually talk about your job families, roles, and different competencies that are needed as part of your performance review process. Because you never know, because your job family might have a set of goals. Okay, so a particular role might have a different set of requirement as part of the job. So for this, there is one document which I will show you quickly. Just let me get the workbook. So this is something. So if you look at this, this is these are your job families that you have and the roles. Okay, for example, in your HR recruiter, the role is a HR recruiter. So these are the kind of competencies that they have. Making a judgment, you've got integrity, ethics, you've got managing conflict, organizational savvy, strategic thinking. So if you are a VP of finance, so as a finance director, you've got your competencies like budget, cost control, customer focus, global perspective, integrity ethics, results focus, vision and values. So these are the kind of job and competencies that you have. So this needs to be imported in the system. So you just need to go and search for import job roles. Yes, these are standard templates that are available, which I'll provide you. Okay, so for that you need to go to import job roles. Where is import? Here it is. So this is import job roles. So you go here, you choose the file that I've shown you, okay, and you upload the system. So this is, as I said again, used for your job families and roles and the competency system. So this is something that we need to define as part of your performance process. Now we started to come into our core compensation aspects, guys. From here, it's all compensation related that you need to put in place before you actually start working on compensation. Remember, we talked about the initial concepts of compensation, where I said that
Praveen, Praveen, we were talking about that. Is it possible without uh, the compensation can be possible without the ratings? Like you are telling how to get the ratings, and we stopped in between because Kanchan had a doubt actually.
okay. So as I said, I mean, you don't connect your performance module directly to compensation. Instead, you import the employees' ratings in your user data file. Okay, so you create a user data file with compensation fields, which I'll show you how it will look like once you include compensation related data. So there are two fields. One is performance rating. There is another one called compensation rating, which is often not used or no one uses it because usually the rating comes from performance. But let's say you are a special scenario, yours is a special scenario where your performance sits in a different system and your compensation sits in SuccessFactors. So if you want to bring the compensation or the performance rating into system, you can map it to one of the fields in the user data file and then upload it, and then you can take it from there. Just like how you get a rating, so you see it there based on the user data file. Okay.
Thank you.
So this is where your actual compensation work starts. Okay, so let's concentrate, guys. So there is something called as job code and pay grade mapping. What is it? So we just saw job families and everything, right? So we saw jobs, job families and everything. So now those jobs will be mapped to your pay grades, and pay grades will be mapped to pay ranges. So what is this job code and pay grade and pay grade and pay range? What is the link? So let's say a particular type of job will have a pay grade, right? So this is clear as far as we see. But once we have a pay grade, what is important for us is the pay grades are mapped to pay ranges. So what are these pay ranges? These are nothing but your salary ranges. So where do we get this information from? You remember I was talking about the market survey, and your market surveys provides you with the salaries available in the market, and that's one of the things. So in your initial discussion, we're talking about market correction and all, but how do you correct it? So you need those ranges. So whoever is your third party or the audit provider, whoever takes care of this initiative, will come up with these pay ranges, and you need to import the pay ranges into the system. So before we go there, so first we'll see the job code and pay grade mapping. So for that, you need to go to compensation, go to action for all plans.
Is that the starting for the config for this? Is that where
Yes,
you start from? Okay.
yes, yes. So here we start with in your action for all plans. So if you go to salary plans and go to job code and pay grade mapping. So what you have here is this data. So you've got a job code mapped to a pay grade. Okay, so these are the jobs that are available in the system, and also the pay grades available for each of those job codes. So quickly, so let me pull out the file. The, you see here, so this is the exact same file that I use there as well. So what you have to
You are
do is
not
simply,
shared. Your screen is not shared.
You cannot see your screen. Yeah, now
okay, so sorry guys. Okay, so if you look at it, So you got your job code to pay grade. This is a file which we'll import in this exact format. And this exact file that was imported here before, so that's why I'm not doing it again. If you do it, it will just override it. Okay, so if you look at it, so
this job code is coming from performance management, or we are creating in compensation management?
so this one is, so when you create your job families, job roles and all those things, you see our file that we imported for job code, or job families, whatever we're talking about. So HR recruiter, okay? So this is something, or let's say for example, you've got executive. So these are something that we imported before. You see exactly the same values here. Executive, HR recruiter, admin, EA1, EA2. So these are defined in your job families before this step. Okay, so as I said, your performance guys would usually create those job families, competencies and everything. But for us, these are the job codes or job classifications that you have in the system. If you are in SuccessFactors Employee Central guy, so this exactly maps with your job code in Employee Central, okay, job classification. So each job classification in Employee Central will be mapped to a pay grade, and a pay grade will be mapped to a pay range there as well. So the same data, exact same data, needs to be sent to performance, sorry, compensation management as well. Okay, so those who did not talk about, I mean, those who did not start with Employee Central, so for you guys, you don't need to worry, because the data, whatever you're talking here, will also come in Employee Central, where you will see these things created as part of your core HR stuff. So this is nothing but jobs. Okay, so this is jobs which will be mapped to your pay grades. And each job code, if you look at this one, so I'll just switch to the next step. So we've got, so we got our salary ranges. This is immediate next step. Actually, these are all different files that I imported, or different students imported into the system, but end of the day they're all the same that's coming from here. You see this one? So each of the pay grades that we have seen before, will be having a minimum, mid and a maximum value. Okay, and promotable true is nothing but it would be made available in your promotion tab in your compensation. I'll start opening the compensation template tomorrow mostly, once we just go through the basic settings that we need to do between performance and compensation, so that there is an integration. Okay, so here what we define is your rates, mid value, the market value, sorry, minimum, mid and maximum value. So these are your ranges that come from your market surveys. This is your end result of that surveys. And what is comp ratio 100% here guys for, let's say, pay grade 1? What is your comp ratio 100% for your pay grade 1? Anyone? For pay grade 1, what is your comp ratio 100%? When can you say an employee's comp ratio is 100%?
20,000.
Who's that, sir?
15,000.
Who's that, sir?
20,000.
Yes, it's 15,000. Who said 20,000?
Me.
Why is it 100% comp ratio? What did I say when I explained about comp ratio?
The market rate is greater than, if it's more than 120%, then it will be,
More than 120?
yeah.
So what is a comp ratio range? So anyone who wants to explain this?
Yeah, this 15,000 will be the 100%.
Within the range.
20,000.
So what is the range of
20,000.
comp ratio? 0 to 200%.
Yes.
100% comp ratio is always a mid value, right? So comp ratio 100% means you're paid as per your market value, as per the mid value of your range usually. So comp ratio 100% is equal to 50% range penetration. So this is where it's coming from. So you upload this salary ranges into the system, okay, and once you do that, then you go back to your pre-work. This is something that you do a bit later in that pre-work. They're talking about rating scales definition. I hope everyone knows how to create a rating scale. Anyone who don't know rating scales? Okay, so the next one is route map creation. So here what you do is you create a route map with three different stages. So you kind of complete salary planning and then review it to your manager, and then it will be completed by the administrator. So this is already in place. So if someone does not understand this, just let me know, because this is something that we already discussed. Creation of rating scales and route maps in our previous classes. We have already defined it.
Excuse me, Praveen. I have one doubt here in the route map. Route map consists of stages and steps, right?
Right.
In this, I have an option to add the steps. Can we add stages for this route map?
So we'll go back to admin tools. Okay. So we go to route map settings.
And when I checked in the system, I see that there are different competencies like 360 degrees review and other kind of pre predefined route maps. I see for some of the route maps there are 4 stages, and for the some of the route maps I see 3 stages. So I'm not sure about this particular thing. So I just want to ask you.
So you mean to say this stages or
Modify stage, signature stage, completion stage.
okay. Usually you only have these 3 stages, right? So what would be the 4th one?
I see another one more stages.
Usually I don't think we have anything of that sort, because stages is something that's system defined. Here first you modify, and if there is an approval only kind of a scenario where you acknowledge. So acknowledgement comes in signature stage, and completion is the final stage.
So the stages are standard, you mean to say?
These are standard, yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yep.
Can we check in a 360-degree review roadmap, or do you have it?
Okay, so we'll see something that there's no 360 available here as part of standard. So where did you found it?
I have another instance. So when I'm checking in that, I found that. So
Okay.
just ask you.
I'll check it in a different instance and let you know. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Usually that's standard as part of +1. Anyway, so then you go to your performance form. Let me show you the performance form as well. So this is your performance review form that will be used for your compensation. Sorry, not for compensation, in the sense for your performance review. So this is a template that will load into the system. This is already available, just to show you what we are loading. So this is something that we use as a standard. So this is your performance form for performance review. Sorry, this is your XML form. So this is your form. So what we need to do is we just upload. I mean, this will be already there in real time for you, but for now we'll just upload it by going to your performance management and manage templates. So we go to performance review. So you can add a new template by just going in, clicking in here, as well as you can upload a new form. And let's say, for example, I go here within your performance form. What we do is once you have the form, you have some general settings where you just assign your route map and a rating scale. So this is something that we did just now. So this is where you map your performance form and your rating scales and route maps. Okay, so your form, once uploaded in the system, you just go and assign them here. So these are different sections within your performance review. This is something that you can modify, which we don't do as part of compensation. Performance people would be taken care of. Okay, so once you have the form templates, then we can launch forms for performance. So this is already launched, but I'll just show you once again and launch the forms for for performance. So go and launch forms within performance management. So just select your template, which one that you want to launch. So this is how you usually launch your performance forms. Okay, so you take the dates, whatever, is it for all of them, or is it for one employee or a group of employees, and then you just say launch. So this would make the form available for all the employees. So now you have launched a performance form. You have already imported the goals. And then the next activity that you have is to rate people after you launch the forms. So this is some activity that needs to be performed. So you
Praveen,
just
if I
rate them.
have, Praveen, these forms are standard forms, or can we make any modifications in the forms as per the customer requirement?
So those are, those are performance forms. Okay, there is obviously a consultant or a team who will be responsible for all of them. So that's something that they do as per customer requirements. There's not a standard. What we are doing is frankly, I don't need to do performance here because I'm not a performance guy, or I'm not training on performance. But what we're trying to do here is to give you a bit of background on how the whole process would look like.
Okay. And
Understand?
moreover, yeah, Praveen. And moreover, the settings, what we are seeing here from the file, are these settings common for all the releases, or is this specific for 1505 release? The
No, it's standard. It's standard. So whatever we are doing is a process of compensation management. So you need to have employees, you need to have goals, you need to have performance review form, you need to have ratings. Then it goes to compensation. Once you rate an employee, that's when we can do anything in compensation, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's what we're doing. So now the next activity is to rate people. You see, so I just have to go to my employee. Let's say I'm going as a Marla Gibbs, where I have some team members assigned to me. Let's say I go as Marla Gibbs, and I'll see the performance forms for my team members. Guys, we might have to stop in next 5 minutes because I have to pick the cab and travel. So to travel 3 kilometers, it takes 1 hour here.
So Praveen, we don't have the employee central one today.
No, we don't have the employee central one. We have one class, as I said before. So this 1 hour class, I'm thinking whether to take it before 6 or either your weekend. So it's just one class that we need to take to complete it.
Weekend would be better actually, for my side weekend would be better.
I thought we can take it Saturday. So this is again something that I wanted to discuss. So if you guys are okay, we can do it on Saturday.
Saturday would be good for me. I'm not sure about others, but if you could confirm 1 day before, that would be really good. At least 1 day before actually. Friday if you confirm, that way we can plan it.
Right, so I'll just take based on the date assigned. So for example, I'll just take it for your reference. This is something I don't want to. So as a manager, I go to my team member, I rate my employees. This is what we do in compensation. Okay, so if you look at it, so this is what as a manager I might be doing in performance management. So once I rate my employees based on whatever I assign, you see here, so I get a rating. So I get a rating for this person. So I just saved the employees rating. So if you look at it, so I might get a rating based on how I rated the employee. So you just rate the employee overall. I gave some rating. So I save it. So this would be made available in my compensation in the next class when we see that. So if you guys can log into the system, and I'll be sharing this document now with all of you.